Welcome to ADHD Whiskey. My name is Matt. Today, we are reviewing one of the top 12 bourbons in the world. How am I so confident in saying that this whiskey is one of the top 12 bourbons in the whole wide world? Well, it says so, right on the neck tag. This is Dexter 3-Wood, straight bourbon whiskey finished with 200-year oak, maple wood, and cherry wood. The neck tag says, ultimate recommendation. One of the top 12 bourbons in the world. Is that what all of us would consider to be a bold claim? Yep. How much would you expect to pay for one of the top 12 bourbons in the whole world? Hundreds of dollars? Thousands of dollars? Nope. $57.99 plus tax. It's got a tree on the label and it says Brain Brew Custom Whiskey. It's like Pimp My Ride for distilled spirits. America. The TV show Dexter is one of my top 12 TV shows of all time. Today's video is brought to us by our good friends over at Magic Spoon. Magic Spoon is one heck of a cereal. Magic Spoon is the high protein, keto friendly, gluten free, grain free, soy free, wheat free, naturally flavored, totally delicious, childlike cereal for grown-ups. If you asked a room full of adults how to spell nostalgia, they would all spell it the same way. C-E-R-E-A-L. Because delicious cereal brings out the inner child in all of us. But now that we're grown up, we're afraid of fun. But you don't need to take cereal so seriously. With 0 grams of sugar, 4 grams of net carbs, and 13 grams of protein, Magic Spoon is the perfect balance of the great taste you love with more protein and less sugar. Not to mention, Magic Spoon comes in so many magically nostalgic flavors. I go nuts for Honey Nut. And you can mix and match those nostalgic flavors by building your own variety box. So click on my link in the description below or scan this QR code on the screen. Use code ADHD at checkout and you'll save $5 off your first variety box. So good. Oh, on the back of the neck tag, it's got some drink recipes, Charles Dickens Dexter Smash, and original 1862 Old Fashioned. I'm curious about why it says finished with 200-year oak. And what does that mean, finished with 200-year oak? It's got a face of a guy named Edmund Dexter on there, right there, Edmund Dexter. You can see his little face. From Cincinnati, Ohio, 1801 to 1862. The great E.D. Edmund Dexter was a world-famous whiskey maker. He hosted the future King Edward of England and author Charles Dickens at his home on 4th Street in Cincinnati. After resting in traditional oak barrels, Dexter is woodcraft, trademark, finished using woods the way Edmund might have done. He might have done it. Edmund might have done anything. To say that somebody might have done something is very accurate. Reclaimed 200-year oak, maple wood, and cherry wood. Produced, finished, and bottled by Brain Brew Custom Whiskey, Newtown, Ohio. Our distillery is just east of Cincinnati and 7 miles north of Kentucky. According to the Surgeon General, women should not drink alcoholic beverages during pregnancy because of the risk of birth defects. Consumption of alcoholic beverages impairs your ability to drive a car or operate machinery and may cause health problems. BrainBrewWhiskey.com or at BrainBrewWhiskey on Instagram and Facebook. Very important information. The only thing that is not here, that is what I would consider to be important, is the state of distillation for this whiskey, since this whiskey label does not have the state of distillation on the label. Legally, it must mean that this distillate was from Ohio. This must be an Ohio distillate by law. Otherwise, on the label, they have to disclose what state it was distilled in, where the whiskey came from. I am very interested to find out about this trademarked woodcraft finishing, so I'm gonna go ahead and Google it. Why a woodcraft bourbon blender franchise? Join a very exclusive team, the only one in the market. This unique franchise experiences high profit margins and profitable business model. Supply chain access to 92 plus point Ultimate Spirits Challenge guarantees you are selling world-class custom bourbons. Market exclusivity. Owning the exclusive rights to custom bourbon and cocktails in your area provides an opportunity to increase the valuation of your business. The bourbon market is solid and strong. Leverage the incredible growth in the bourbon industry, which has doubled over the past 10 years. Intensity of interest in meaningful, unique experiences. Consumer passion for made-to-order customized products. Brain Brew Bourbon Blender Machine allow guests to enjoy custom bourbon by the glass and bottle? What the fridge is that? Returning bourbon to its roots. Of the people, by the people, for the people. The 1800s were the golden age when bourbon and cocktails were first commercialized. Interestingly, originally there were no prepackaged brands of whiskey. Instead, consumers would visit a local whiskey merchant that would barrel blend it to the consumer's taste preferences. Woodcraft Bourbon Blender franchises bring back the excitement of the 1800s custom bourbon experience. Advanced systems, products, and technology make it possible to offer consumers their personal bourbon with their brand name on it. Woodcraft Bourbon Blender franchise in Louisville, Kentucky on Whiskey Row. Each franchise has its own name, identified as a Woodcraft Bourbon Blender. So this is just a private label whiskey. It is just a private label whiskey. Unique benefits of a Woodcraft Bourbon Blender franchise. Your distillery carries your local brand name that you choose. You sell experiences with high profit margins. Recent law changes for craft distillers improve your profitability. The Woodcraft Bourbon Blender franchise package includes everything you need to create your own custom bourbon distillery. Custom bourbon business model. An innovative set of offerings and operational systems that create a meaningful, unique customer experience. You will get 92-point plus blending bourbons. Authorized suppliers provide you with customized woodcraft finished bourbons. 200-year oak, American oak, European oak, 200-year oak, again, maplewood, cherrywood, and smoked oak. Interested in learning more about growing your profits with a Woodcraft Bourbon Blender franchise? Contact us for more information. I haven't smelled or tasted the whiskey yet, but after doing a 5-minute dive into Brain Brew whiskey, I just get an icky feeling about this in general. The only reason I bought this bottle is because it said one of the top 12 bourbons in the world. I figured it would make a great video. Then I did some reading about it, and I wonder if the people who've made this whiskey have even tasted 12 bourbons. Let's go in for a nose on this Dexter 3-wood. Okay. Very fruity, very young, apple cidery. Judging by the nose of this smells very young. But since it says straight bourbon whiskey on the label and there is no age statement on here, that means it must be at least 4 years old. Since it says straight bourbon whiskey, if it is under 4 years old, it must have an age statement. Based off of the labels, whatever is in this bottle by law must be a minimum of 4 years old and distilled in Ohio. It doesn't smell 4 years old though. It does not smell 4 years old. It doesn't smell bad. It's not like off-putting. It's not making me go, ugh. But it does have an abrupt sharpness to it that lets you know that this whiskey is, in its infancy as far as aging goes. All right, let's go ahead and go for a taste. Dexter 3-wood down the hatch. Huh. That is way better than I imagined. That might actually be good. For as bright and shiny as the nose was, the palate is exceptionally creamy. There are some sharp spots to it. There is a bit of brightness shining through, but I was expecting a major crafty hit or a major like pointed, sharp, aggressively jagged palate. I was expecting it to maybe pucker me up a little bit, but no, the nose shows signs of things that aren't on the palate. I feel like the maple wood and the cherry wood are kind of shining through here in a very nice way. I am surprised by how good this whiskey is considering what it smells like. There is some youthful qualities to it. On the front of the tongue, it's a bit bitter, and then on the finish, it kind of like reemerges as a youthful, grainy profile. By the way, it's 100.6 proof, if I didn't mention that, for a $60 whiskey. Not bad. It's not a bad whiskey. Do I believe that Dexter 3-Wood is one of the top 12 bourbons in the world? No. Saying that it is one of the top 12 bourbons in the world is ridiculous. Just ridiculous. It's literally ridiculous. But I do believe that it will deserve a spot in a blind flight with whiskeys that are cheaper than it, that do not claim to be top 12 bourbons in the world. Maybe that will be a live stream flight. Dexter 3-Wood receives a score from me today of 7.1. Based off of the bottle, I had no idea what to expect. When I poured it into a glass and nosed it, I was like, okay, the marketing makes sense, how, they're about profits and all, and they're open about that. But I have to give credit where credit is due, and, maybe it doesn't deserve that much credit. I'm actually giving it credit because it's not bad. I don't know. Their whole process is confusing. Their marketing is a bit like, weird. But am I happy to have a bottle of this on the bar? Sure, but only because this is what I do for a living. If I were the average whiskey or bourbon consumer, would I pick up a bottle of this for 60 bucks? This bottle would be for you if you were into crisp, bright, apple-y things. If you're into some crafty type of whiskeys, if you're into some brighter notes, if you want to see the effects of what 200-year oak, whatever that means, maple wood and cherry wood have on a bourbon, this might be for you. But for the average bourbon or whiskey consumer, I would say it's probably a pass at 60 bucks. But there is a part of my audience out there who would really enjoy this, I believe. That's going to do it for this review of one of the top 12 bourbons in the world. Dexter 3-Wood. Sounds like a golf club and a bowling shoe came together and made whiskey. My name is Matt. This is ADHD Whiskey. Like I always say, keep your head in the clouds but your mind on hitting the like button and hitting the subscribe button, ringing the notification bell, and leaving a comment down below. What do you feel about marketing like that? And have you ever done any research on how in the heck this stuff is, produced or wood finished? I only just took a little bit of a shallow dive, but have any of you dug deeper? What's going on with this stuff? Anybody know? Does anybody know? Leave a comment below. And also keep your mind on vacuum cleaners and making sure that when you're vacuuming stuff that you empty the bag or the container every once in a while and get the dang hair out of the rollers before it becomes a problem, because eventually it'll become a problem. And also, if you suck up a carpet string and it stops your vacuum in its tracks, don't just put it away and wait for your husband or wife or significant other or whoever to find out for themselves that that's an issue. Just tell them, let them know. Hey, I fudged up the vacuum and our rug is like half its size now.